Om Brahmarpanam Brahmavihi Brahmagna Brahmanahutam Brahmeva Tena Gantavyam Brahma Karma Samadhina Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. Okay, good. Welcome. Lovely to see you all. We should take our time to introduce this, the rules, just like you have ashram rules, we have rules for self-inquiry. Vedanta is an ancient tradition, science of self-inquiry, and there are rules that we have to abide by or play by, called dharmas. We call them dharmas. And so I need to explain to you what these are to make it work properly. If you grow up in India, we wouldn't have to explain the rules necessarily because it would just be part of the culture. But here these rules are not always part of the culture. And so I need to make it clear to you how you can participate, because I'm not just here to give you a lecture. Understand? It's like a class, but it's not a class. I'm not a professor. I'm a teacher. And I'm not giving a lecture. This is called Science of Self-Inquiry. And we're going to think together. So I like this room better than the other room, because it gathers everybody together and I can see your faces. It's important that I see your faces, because then I can tell if an idea is going in or not. If you have a problem with an idea, the question mark will come here. And then I understand you haven't understood. So I can express it in a way that you will get it. Because we're all going to go together on this. Everybody may have slightly different level of self-development, but if you're capable of just listening and paying attention, we can all go together. It works best that way. And that way we build up a kind of group energy that helps the inquiry. This is not going to be easy, okay? I'm not an entertainer, also. Not a professor, and I'm not an entertainer. I will try to make this entertaining. I will try to make it attractive to you, but I'm not here just to entertain you. I'm going to ask you to work. You've got to do some work. Because I'm working hard over on this side, and so you have to work hard over on that side. Understand? Just passive listening is good, but it's not quite enough. You have to be an active listener. You have to pay very careful attention, because this is a self-inquiry is a very subtle topic, and it requires a quiet mind and an intellect that's capable of thinking. We're not going to promise you any particular kind of experience, although you will have various kind of spiritual experiences during these talks. But the basic purpose of this is self-knowledge. The topic of Vedanta is you. It's who you are. Not you as a person, but you as your true self, or as who you really are. And so it's a challenging seminar. I say challenging and difficult because over the years we have developed ideas about who we are that are not in harmony with who we really are. We have beliefs and opinions about ourselves that are not true to who we are. And this causes a conflict in us. It's not even a conflict that's known to us. We feel the conflict, but we don't know why we have this conflict. And it's only because the way we see ourselves and the way we see the world is not actually how it is. But we're very stubborn people. We hang on to our own views, our own ideas. We believe that the way we experience things is the way reality is. See? And you're going to hear some ideas that are going to cause you to be upset, angry. You will be challenged. I'm not going to try to provoke you. I'm not going to try to make you angry, okay? I'm a good person. I love everybody. I'm just a teacher, and when you teach, you have to tell the truth. And sometimes the truth is difficult to accept. So, on your part, you need to manage your mind. Manage your reactions to some of the things you will be hearing. Understand? And because, and I know this is the first unpleasant truth, you're not, if you're interested in freedom or enlightenment, you'd be, and were able to get it on your own, you would be free and enlightened already. But you're not. You need to be taught what enlightenment is. It needs to come to you from the outside. You cannot figure it out from inside or from reading books. It doesn't work that way. That's how we learn in the world. But in the world of enlightenment, in the world of self-knowledge, that's not how you learn. Because it's already known who you are. We already know who you are. And we can show you who you are. We can teach you who you are. We can point it out to you very clearly. Vedanta is like a mirror. It holds a mirror up to you, and you see yourself in the mirror. It's a word mirror. And when you look in it, you will see yourself as you are. Not as you think you are, not as you want to be. Not according to your fears and your desires, but as you truly are. Normally, when you listen, when somebody says something, you immediately form a reaction in your mind. When you speak normally in a person, the person will start talking, and before that person has even finished his sentence, you will have an idea how to respond to that sentence. You'll already know what you're going to say before they've even completed their statement. There may be information that's important to what they said, but you won't be taking that information in because you'll already be reacting to what some idea that they have presented immediately. And you will look at what they tell you in light of what you believe or think or feel. This is just normal. Everybody does it. I'm not saying it's bad. This is just how we have learned to learn. This is how we take in information. We react. And we look at what we have heard in light of what we already know. And then we judge it. Because we're looking to put that information in a little box in our mind. We have a whole lot of little boxes, and we want to store that information in a little box. Well, she's a this, he's a that. She said this, he's a that. I don't like this, I don't like that. This is this is that. Well, that isn't going to work for this teaching. Sorry. That doesn't work. If you're thinking like that, then it's a waste of time. You're wasting your time. You have to learn to listen carefully. And the way you listen is this. You need to take your ideas of what you think you are and what you think reality is, and just put them aside. Only for 1 hour, okay? You can't do it for more than an hour. It's impossible. But I can tell when your own ideas start coming in, then I know it's time to take a break and have some coffee and go and chat a little bit and relax. And then you can assimilate what you've heard. See? The afternoon session, it's too long in one big session, so we'll break it up. Because I'm going to feed you with a lot of knowledge. That's my job. It's a big feast of knowledge. And we're going to feed you with a lot of knowledge, and you need to digest this knowledge and assimilate it into your body and turn it into living energy. So when you get filled up, then we'll take a break. We'll get relaxed, we'll let it all clear up, let things take place inside, and then come back and do it again. And now this is the important point that you need to remember. When you've heard what Vedanta says, then, and only then, are you to bring up what you think and look at what you think or feel in light of what you have heard, and discard those ideas of yours that are not in harmony with what you have heard. Some things you already know. They're already part of your knowledge. Very good. You can keep those. But there will be ideas that you have that are not true to the nature of reality. And those we ask you to discard. Okay? Now, yes, you'll just discard them little by little, and they will come back. Mind you, it's not like you can just throw away all your ignorance all at once. You can't just throw it away. You can throw it away, but it will come back. And then you look at that again in light of what you've heard, and you throw it away again. You understand why that ignorance that you thought was knowledge has to go in light of the teaching. See? It's very difficult to do. And that's why it's challenging. That's why it's hard work. This is not a glamorous thing. I'm not famous worldwide and thousands of people come. Thousands of people go to Muji and people like that, Amici. They get thousands because they don't ask you to think. In fact, most of the gurus just tell you, don't think. The problem is you're thinking. Stop thinking. Just be. They say, just be. Get rid of, stop your mind, kill your mind, destroy your mind. It's the mind is the problem. Well, you can't do that. You cannot destroy your mind. You cannot stop your mind. You cannot kill your mind. Your mind is there for a good reason. God gave us a mind for a good reason. And it wasn't not to use it. We're supposed to use the mind. It's a tool, an instrument. But it needs to think clearly and properly. Understand. So, we will unfold this teaching. I will take my time. It's a patient thing. We're not in a hurry. We'll unfold this teaching step by step. It's a logical teaching. It's a complete teaching. It starts at the very beginning of life, and it goes right on to the end, to enlightenment. From the very beginning, when you start to think, to the day you are set free, this teaching covers the whole spiritual life. And it needs to be presented systematically. I think you're Germans, most of you are Germans, and you will appreciate systematic thinking. Isn't it? Huh? Because this is a great culture. I mean, really, seriously, I admire German culture because it's very, very rigorous, systematic thinking. Right? And Vedanta is the same. That's why there's gaining more and more popularity here in Germany. Because you're capable, you're educated in such a way that you can think scientifically and systematically. And you can logically consider ideas and come to the right conclusion by thinking properly. We're going to give you this whole logic of the spiritual life. And for it to work, when do we quit? On Friday morning or something? Friday morning. By Friday morning, I'll have given you a basic outline. Obviously, I can't fill it all in. In this, we have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, in 4 days, for a little more than 4 days. But if we have for 4 or 5 hours a day, and 4 days, we get maybe 18, 20 hours. In that 18 or 20 hours of thinking, I can help to give you a really clear outline of the basic structure of the spiritual life. Because before you just dive into the spiritual world, you should know what you're doing. Most of us don't. I didn't. I was just suffering. And I had a vision of God, and I just ran off into the spiritual world and changed my clothes and changed my dress and changed my food and went to India, and I did everything that was coming along. I did it, you know. And I was very inspired and very crazy, and I spent 4 or 5 years, and I didn't really gain anything except a lot of experience, which I could not put together. And I finally just gave up after 4 years of nothing but secret. I didn't have a job or anything. I was just only fascinated with this idea of enlightenment for those years. And then by God's grace, I met this Indian Mahatma, his teacher, and I realized that the whole problem, I was approaching the whole problem in the wrong way. And that I was trying to transcend my mind, and go beyond my mind. And I had all kinds of transcendental and wonderful experiences. But I wasn't looking at my mind carefully and thinking clearly and scientifically about my own mind and my own life. I wasn't examining myself properly. And this teacher I could see was a free person. There's nothing like seeing a person who's free. It will inspire you so much. I became so inspired because then I realized it was really possible to live free here in this world. And he said, you need to think clearly because your intellect is the closest thing to yourself. Your spirit, is the bedrock of your existence, and then the closest thing to that is your intellect. The thinking part. Then your feelings come, then your senses come, and then your body come. We'll have a chart. I'll explain it all to you. It's a science. I will explain it all to you as we go. And so and reality starts from within and flows out. And so the awareness that you are illumines your intellect, and then then your feelings come, and then your senses go, and then the world reacts to you. So if you don't take care of that very, very subtle place inside yourself where all of your life begins, in your thinking, if you don't take care of that, if that's not organized properly, if you don't know how to think properly, your life will just be confusing. It will be hit and miss. Sometimes you'll be happy, sometimes you won't. You'll be up, you'll be down, you'll be confused. And the reason there's so much problem is because the ignorance and knowledge are sitting side by side together in the human beings. If you know the story of the snake and the rope, I'll tell you. How many have heard the snake and the rope story? Ah, good. Okay, who hasn't heard the snake and the rope story? Okay, I'll tell it. No, we don't want to leave you out. We should all know. There was a man walking along, a weary, tired traveler, in the evening. The sun was going down. It was becoming a little dark. He was thirsty and tired, and he saw a well in a village. And so he walked to the well to get a drink of water. And near the well was a bucket. And he reached down to grab the bucket to put it in the well. And as he reached, he saw a big cobra snake coiled right beside the bucket. And so he'd come toward it, and suddenly he saw this snake, and he just was frozen in fear. He looked around and he thought, oh my God. He was thinking to himself, if I move forward, he'll strike me. If I move away, he'll strike me. Any movement will set this snake off because he's very disturbed. I've entered his environment and he's going to hit me. So he's like, he can't move. He's paralyzed. And just then, a little old man, there's always a little old man in these stories, a wise little old man, he comes along and he says, hey, what's up? You seem disturbed. And the man said, hey, shh, quiet. There's a cobra here. It's a big snake. Get a stick. Come and hit it, kill it. I can't move. I'm afraid if I move, it will strike me. And the old man looks and he said, ha, 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 ha. He says, take it easy. That's not a snake. That's the well rope. Because in India, they will coil the rope. Have you seen it ever in the old days? You don't see wells anymore. But in my day, we saw a few wells when I lived in India. And they would coil the rope like this, and then it would come up over the edge of the bucket. So in the twilight, and the man is tired, he's weary, he's thirsty. It looks like a snake. And he becomes frightened. Now, the most important, this is a very subtle story. It's a beautiful story, and it has many, many, many layers of meaning to it. But the idea that we're going to take from it right now is this. When did this experience occur? In the twilight. What is twilight? Twilight means it's a little dark, it's not quite dark, it's a little bit of light in the sky. At that time, he makes this mistake. Now, if he had walked to the well in the middle of the day when the sun was bright, would he have seen a snake? No. He would not have seen a snake. Why? Because it was clear seeing. There was no obstructions. It was easy to see. You cannot make a mistake when the lights are on. If it was the dead of night and he'd walked to the well, could he have made a mistake? No. He couldn't make a mistake because he was totally ignorant. There was no information coming to him that would allow him to make a mistake. But the human beings, they're a very funny part of the creation. Human beings are called Manusha. It means the ones who think. All the other creatures don't think. They're just programs. They just do what they're supposed to do. Some of them have a rudimentary kind of thinking, and we think it's all wonderful, dolphins and monkeys and things, and chickens. There's a chicken. Did you see that on the YouTube? There's a video of a chicken. He's the smartest chicken you ever saw. It's smarter than dolphins, smarter than monkeys, that chicken. They did, anyway, but they don't really think, okay? They just can learn some small things like that. But human beings are the ones who think. They live in their minds. Their mind is what, that's what we're just animals with thinking. Understand? You're just a pile of meat, like an animal, and a program. You're driven by all these urges and inclinations and desires, so forth, like an animal. Food, clothing, shelter, sex, and so forth. And off you go, but you're thinking all the time. Isn't it? Huh? Aren't you thinking all the time? You bet. You're always thinking. So these human beings are the ones that think, and they live in a twilight zone. You're probably all too young, but when I was growing up, there was a television program. No, it actually wasn't television, it was radio. Because I grew up before the age of television. That's how old I am. It was called The Twilight Zone. It had spooky music. The Twilight Zone. Nee, 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 nee. Because in the twilight zone you can make a mistake. Means what? Where there's knowledge and where there's ignorance and it's all mixed up, it's easy to what? Can get confused and make the wrong decision, make the wrong choices, and do the wrong actions and cause trouble for yourself. So this is the problem, this is the situation that we find ourselves in now. We're confused. Who am I? Am I free, limitless, ordinary, actionless, non-dual awareness? Or am I this small little person worrying about this and that? Who am I? Am I a great, luminous spirit, free being? Or am I this little worm munching my way through the samsara, through the tough, hard world, taking my knocks here and there? Who am I? I'm confused. See? I've got all these beliefs and opinions that don't stand up in the light of day. So your job is just to listen. I only just take an hour at a time, that's all. And an hour is all we'll last. Then we'll take a break, then we'll come back and do another. And put all of your beliefs and opinions aside, and then compare the two later on. And throw away, as I said, throw away those things that don't work and keep those things that do. And in the meantime, you will learn the method of self-inquiry, how to think properly, how to use your mind to remove your own ignorance. You see, I'm a guru. Right now I am. When I get off this chair, I'm not a guru. But now I'm a guru. I got my guru hat on, you see. And so I can teach you how to think. I can teach you this science. But I want you to become your own guru. Understand? In Vedanta, the relationship with the guru is what? You tell if you have a good relationship if you're becoming more and more free all the time, not only of your funny ideas, but free of the guru itself. I don't want you hanging on me, worshiping me. I've got a life. I've got a good life. I don't want to collect a bunch of people coming to me every 5 minutes and saying, Swamiji, what should I do? Should I do this and should I do that and this and that? You know, I have my own problems. I want to. So we can teach you to think properly. When I say we, I mean the whole tradition. I'm not speaking for myself, for James, the person that it looks like. This is not my stuff, okay? I didn't invent this teaching, and I didn't invent the method of teaching either. I have nothing to do with it. It was taught to me. And I'm teaching you Vedanta. It's an ancient science. It's thousands of years old. It was revealed in the Upanishads. How many have heard of the Upanishads? Good. The Upanishads are the source texts for this knowledge. They're the original revelations that make up this knowledge. And over the years, thousands of great souls, great minds, right, studied this knowledge, put it into practice, and developed a teaching tradition. This teaching tradition is several thousand years old. And it doesn't belong to any person. It belongs to all of humanity. And it has nothing to do with India or any other place. It's just the knowledge behind the whole of reality. It's the knowledge of what? The individual person that you think you are. It's the knowledge of the material world that we live in, the physical material world that we live in, and it's the knowledge of consciousness yourself. These are the only three factors in existence: Jiva, Jagat, Ishvara. I'll just throw in a few Sanskrit terms to make sure you understand that it's not my teaching. Please don't say it's my teaching. I can't. If it's my teaching, if a human being has a teaching, be very suspicious. Okay? Because this is not a philosophy. This doesn't come from a mystic or somebody who had some big experience and went off and created a religion or something like that. This is just a science, just as you have in physical sciences, you had individuals who had revelations. Like, what was the one woman who figured out penicillin? Madame Curie. Or Thomas Edison, who figured out electricity. Or the Wright brothers, who figured out how to fly. These were just normal people who paid very close attention to their experience and to life and understood something about reality. Because knowledge is always present. And slowly, they investigated reality and came up with science, physical material science, psychology, and so forth. But a long time ago in India, it just so happens it was in India, a science of consciousness developed. And Vedanta is the science of consciousness. You're a conscious being, aren't you? Is anybody not conscious here? Raise your hand. All who are not conscious, please raise their hand. Good. Very good. Nobody raised their hand. That's pretty wonderful, isn't it? Huh? Yeah, because you are conscious. And this is the part of you that is least known to you. They're so busy looking at all the things in your consciousness, in your life, all the things out there, nobody's paying attention to who am I? To consciousness. There's no science of it at all. They don't teach it in the schools. Your mom doesn't teach it. Your pop doesn't teach it. Who knows anything about consciousness? Who knows? Nobody. There's no science of it around. But a long time ago in India, this science developed. And just as you developed a psychological science, and since Freud particularly, although in the Vedic system of knowledge, the psychology of human beings was well known, and we're going to explain that psychology to you. That's part of the science. We call that jiva. So our psychology will be carefully examined. We'll unpack all the little bits and pieces inside ourselves here and have a look at them, what they are and how they fit and what they do and how they relate, one, to the material world outside and how they relate to what? Consciousness inside. I'm going to lay this all out carefully. It's a discipline. You will see, as you will see as we go. You'll be quite surprised at how deeply these people have, these thinkers have gone into this topic and have developed a methodology. Again, I'm just teaching according to the method. I went to guru school, you could say. There is no guru school, but there is a guru school in this sense, that I stayed with my teacher and watched him using the knowledge on me until what? I could use the knowledge on myself. And then the knowledge worked, set me free. And then I can also teach that to you. Because you need to be your own guru here. You need to set yourself free. I can show you how, but you've got to do the work. Because the ignorance is there. Mind you. And you have to be humble for this teaching. You have to be humble. You have to be able to admit, hey, I don't know. That was what happened to me. The first time I met my guru, it was the first time I was really humble. Because I was always a smart person and a bit arrogant. I did well in school. I made lots of money. I did all right with the ladies. I was pretty clever. I thought I was a pretty wonderful person. And I bumped up my head up against this knowledge, against the reality, and I realized I wasn't so smart at all. And when I met my teacher, I realized, now there's an intelligent person. And I felt so ignorant and innocent and so like a baby. It was really good. I was able to just admit to myself that I didn't know what I was doing. Zen mind, beginner's mind. I need to have that innocence, that pure mind that allows me to actually listen. And I can tell you that you're not listening to James, okay? You're listening to Vedanta. I'm like the mouthpiece. And this tradition, this teaching comes through me to you. I'm not adding anything of my own or taking anything away from it. I'm going to give you the whole teaching as it is. Understand? Because you can't trust people. In the spiritual world, it's a big mistake to trust. You see? You should always keep your discrimination going. You should always be thinking carefully. And the more spiritual a person is, the longer their beard is, and the more glowing their eyes are, and the more slowly they speak, and transcendental they are, the more suspicious you should be of their words. These words will work. They do work. Understand? So that's your job. Your job is just to listen. I'll do most of the work, but on your side, you're going to have to do some work also. And then we'll go step by step, logically, through the whole teaching. Does anybody have any questions? Good. So I think it's about 10, about time to quit. Good introduction. Let's see, is there anything else I need to tell you? Yes. I will unfold a particular teaching, and please hold your questions. Okay? While I'm giving the whole teaching, don't ask questions. Save your questions. Usually, this is the way the teaching works. Usually, it's a particular method. It's called superimposition and negation. In other words, what we do is we create a problem, and then later on we solve it. And we create the problem, then we give you the logic, and the logic solves it. So even though you'll have a question at a particular point, if you just hold on and follow the teaching, that question will be removed later on. So don't worry. Now, oftentimes, or not always, but oftentimes, it'll still not be clear to you. And so at the end of a session, we can have some small question and answers. Mind you, Keep them on topic. I don't want to hear your personal story. I'm sorry. Okay? I don't want to hear about your problems and your troubles and all your spiritual worries and all that sort of thing. Okay? I can't do that. I'm not a psychologist. If I did that, I would be hopeless. I'd be a hopeless wreck. And I don't know what your problem is anyway. I can't solve the problem for you. Only knowledge can solve the problem for you. So we can give you that knowledge to solve that problem. So, and then this will develop into a communication, and we'll all get friendly, and we'll be able to like talk normally here and work out the problems around these various ideas, around these various teachings. It's very nice how this works. It's very, very nice. People love it. They love this communication. But just take it easy and see if your question's not answered. If in the first talk the question's not answered, then in the second talk it will be, because there's a logic here. If in the second talk it's not answered, the third talk will answer it. If it's not in the third talk there's a problem, the fourth talk will answer it. So it's a very systematic, very scientific thing. I'll try to make it entertaining and easy for you. But, so take it easy and have a good night's rest. And we'll meet at 7:30 in the morning. And we'll begin with the motivations. So the first talk is called Motivations. And it's about what do I want in life. So it's lovely to meet you all. And see you in the morning. Right.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna